Alright, welcome to my video. So, if you have been following along with my past videos, I recently just completed my spring break Walt Disney World trip of 2023. The last time I personally had gone to Walt Disney World was 2021. So this video is basically going to be reviewing my time at Walt Disney World. Now, keeping that in mind, my very first time ever going to Walt Disney World, Orlando, Florida, was in December 2020, right amongst, COVID time. And then after that, me and my best friend decided to go again in 2021 that summer. So this was my very first time experiencing, I would say, Walt Disney World 2023 post everything that I had experienced in the past. It's going to cover my first time staying on property because we ended up staying at the Walt Disney World Resort, All-Star Resort, All-Star Music Resort. This video is going to cover my experiences, navigating virtual queues now that everything's kind of up and running. This video is going to cover my thought process on shows and my opinion on Genie Plus in regards to that and, navigating lines and so forth. So this is purely based off of my opinion, just kind of the things that me and my best friend did as we navigated through each and every park. We covered Epcot, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy this video. If not, thanks for watching thus far. Right when you enter the building, you are greeted by the cast members to help you get to your room and to help you check in and all that fun stuff. We happened to get Broadway. There's Calypso, country, jazz, and I think rock and roll, but we ended up getting Broadway. I'm super happy that we ended up getting them because, I love musicals and all that fun stuff. Plus, it was a beauty to look at during the day, and it was a beauty to look at night. We absolutely loved where Broadway was because it was kind of ducked off where even in the mornings, early mornings, it was super quiet. Even towards the evenings, it was super quiet, and we were right next to the quiet pool, but we were only a couple steps away from the main pool where they hold the events and movie nights and so forth. Also, it was only like a 5-minute walk to get to the front of the area where the buses and the shuttles are. So I was super happy to get Broadway. It's also right next to Calypso, so most people want Calypso because it's like super, super close. But I liked Broadway because it just wasn't that busy. And you still had like a sense of privacy, but you weren't too far from all the activities and food court and stores in the front of the resort. So if you had any questions or anything like that, or you needed to head to the airport. One reason why we decided to go during spring break was it was my birthday. I've been telling everyone since I've been back, if you're having an upcoming birthday, Walt Disney World is the place to be. Like, they took my expectations and purely just threw them completely out of the galaxy. I never felt so special in my life. Like, purely, I had the most amazing time. Our first day, we ended up going to Epcot. So I tell everyone, if you have a specific favorite park, do not go on a Monday because most travelers want to start their vacation at that park. So not too many people are fans of Epcot. So we ended up going to Epcot first. And our first ride was, of course, Ratatouille. We did not do Genie Plus, and it was only about an hour wait, and that's at Rope Drop, Magic Hour Rope Drop, because we were able to get in there about an hour earlier. It was only an hour wait, and like me and my best friend, honestly, we just had a casual conversation, and before you know it, like, the line was flying right by. So I don't think if you go to that ride first, I don't think it's a necessity to do the Genie Plus option. We happened to go during the Flower and Garden Festival, so we were able to see all of the greenery and all of the beautiful flower arrangements and your favorite Disney characters. One thing we did notice is that most of the characters are out in the morning, because right before we went into Ratatouille, we saw Alice and Winnie the Pooh and a lot of characters out. We after we rode Ratatouille, we ended up getting hungry and we headed towards Italy, and we purchased this amazing pizza. Now here's the thing about that I didn't like is the waitress really didn't explain how this was gonna work. So our um basically our total was a lot more than what we expected, but I did love the fact that they came and sung happy birthday to me in Italian, and they presented me with this cute little cannoli type of dish in celebration of my birthday. So that was kind of fun. And I just love the atmosphere. I was so into the experience. I did not get any footage of the restaurant. I didn't even get the name, but the food was delicious. And I know it's one of the main restaurants right next to France, but it's in Italy. Another little shout out was this lovely bar in Mexico. Now, the day we went, it happened to rain a lot. So we were basically in and out of restaurants and things to stay out of the rain. And one of my best friends mentioned this lovely little bar. This lovely little bar, it's really small, but the bartenders there are absolutely nice and amazing and productive people. I purchased this lovely tequila drink. It I don't remember what it's called. It's called XO something. It's $33, but it was delicious and it had tahini on the rim. And it was well worth the money just with the display and with the flavors in it. Unfortunately, it was such a good drink. I do not remember what exactly was in it, but I do know it was tequila. Here is some more imagery of that. So with it being like raining and cold, not cold, it was like raining and humid. That day, I was appreciative that Epcot really had restaurants and stores available for us to hide out in the rain too. Another reason why I didn't get a lot of footage of that Italian restaurant that we were at is because me and my friend were really trying to get into Guardians of the Galaxy. So we both had our phones out, but we were really trying to get into the virtual queues of that ride. We happened to get in it, and we ended up riding the ride around noon, not around noon, around 4-ish. Here's the thing about the virtual queues. A lot of people have tips saying, oh, it's really set towards the world clock and this and that. Every time me and my best friend have dabbled in virtual queues, it's basically just having your phones open and tapping until you can get in there. Sometimes you get in there, sometimes you don't. It's kind of like that just lottery type of aspect of how I feel. Now, with that being said, was Guardians of the Galaxy worth footage? Yes. Like, yes, I would have loved to show you guys how cute the restaurant was and how awesome the people were. But the fact that, like, once our pizza arrived, my best friend was able to get into the virtual queue, so that way we were able to experience this amazing ride. It was well worth it because now I have all of this amazing footage where you can see just how well worth that ride was. I mean, the ride itself has, I think, multiple choices of songs you can experience while you're riding the ride. We happen to get Everybody Wants to Rule the World, which, like, low-key became the theme of that trip because after that ride, like, even if it kept raining and it kept getting humid and cold, like, nothing stopped our sunshine. Another thing that we happened to learn was the fact that Epcot provides like free concerts. They play, the artist plays at 4:30 and I believe 7:30. They play their set, take a break, and then come back and do another set. They do have capacity restrictions, but realistically, it's a good time. You're able to, listen to some music, enjoy your drink, and so forth. Out of everything that I tried at Epcot, there was nothing that I would deem as gross or not worth the money. Everything that I experienced was well worth the money and not a waste of time. The only thing I did not enjoy was the sake, and it wasn't because like, oh, it was gross. It's just because apparently I chose the gross flavored sake, which I learned later from friends. There is lots of little gems and holes in the walls throughout Epcot. This is one of them that we are repeat visitors of in France. They have sweet treats, they have sandwiches, they have food. We always go there for some sweet treats and some frosés. The only thing that I noticed that was different in our in our visit this time, was the fact that there's limited seating. There was a lot more provided seating when we went previously. A lot of bar stools were taken away. A lot of chairs were taken away. So a lot of people were ending up sitting on curbs and on the ground, which I thought was kind of ridiculous. That's just me. We ended up getting a table and chair, but it was like way competitive to get that table and chair. So that was my only negative in regards to that. Of course, there's benches throughout, there's tables throughout, but it's just like in that little area, I realized that they took all the seating out. One of the things that I really enjoyed that I did not know that they had was like a water firework-esque show. I love the song list. I love the visuals. This is something I don't really see a lot of vloggers talking about or showing, is the fact that Epcot has a little show. You usually hear a lot about Magic Kingdom, Cinderella Castle themed shows. But Epcot's is really, really beautiful and very, very well done. And I really was so happy to get to enjoy it because even though you're focused on the water, like the whole theme park illuminates as well. We decided to go to Magic Kingdom on Tuesday. Even though it was a Tuesday, I thought it was very, very busy. We still did not purchase any Genie Plus that day. We just didn't feel the need for it. One thing I will say, it depends on what you're going for. If you're going to try to ride all the rides in the park, then yeah, you might want to purchase some Genie Plus to make that possible. Considering the fact that we have generally been to Disney back to back, our focus was on the things that we didn't get to experience when we went the previous times because of COVID restrictions. One of the rides that we didn't get to ride because of COVID restrictions, because of those restrictions, the lines were just way too long, was Snow White. We literally rope dropped that ride. As soon as we got in the park, we didn't, go to Cinderella's castle and fight for, that perfect picture. We decided to head straight to that ride. Now, with that being said, it was a 90-minute wait, which in Walt Disney discussions, that's not too long. And it wasn't for us. The only thing was, a lot of people had the same plan as us. So it was just some irritations of, other guests that kind of made it more of a hassle. But it was worth it once we got to ride it. After that, we went to Haunted Mansion, which is an all-time favorite spooky ride. I'm an adult, and I think some of the parts of that ride are scary, as well as cool. By the time we rode those two rides, it was time for our first parade. We had seen parades previously. They did still do parades during the COVID time periods, but those parades compared to the parades that they have now are completely like different. There's more stunts, there's more, I don't know, it just felt like there's just so much more, and I felt like I was screaming louder than the kids, to be completely honest. I am also amazed by how the cast members handle the crowd. It's restricted, but not to the point where you feel like you have to watch the parade. It's restricted in a way where, the cast members can be safe, the guests can be safe, but you can still navigate and walk around if you want to go and ride rides instead of watch the parade, which I thought was very, very amazing. But we didn't do that. We got popcorn and some snacks and just sat and watched the parade. Mickey even blew me a little kiss, so I felt super special. But another thing that I noticed is, like, no matter what, no matter where you're going, cast members will recognize your birthday. Like, every time I went on the ride, the cast members say happy birthday, or some of them would even comp me for snacks, just out of nowhere. I got comped for a couple of things. After we watched the lovely parade, we went and rode Pirates of the Caribbean. That ride, just so you know, breaks down a lot, but it seems to not break down for too long. Another ride that I never really rode before is the People Mover. We literally thought it was just a People Mover, but it's not. It's like a low-key ride. So if you need to basically rest your feet a bit and just elevate them, that's the perfect ride to ride because it's breezy, it's interesting, and you see a little bit of things that you never thought you would see. Another little break place that we decided to go to is this candy shop right at the entrance of Magic Kingdom. They have cute little sweet treats, M&Ms, marshmallows, Rice Krispie treats, type of things. I decided to pick up a little marshmallow sweet treat because, why not? You're on vacation. Like I said, the Cinderella Castle was super busy this trip. Usually we can get a couple of cute little pictures by it, but it just wasn't worth it this trip. It was just so many people really gathered in that area that just made it to the point where I was like, we'll get it later type of vibe. They have started, hosting their little shows there, but it just wasn't the scene this trip. One fun fact I think everyone should know, especially adults, is that if you go to Gaston's Tavern, it's not really a tavern. It's like a food stop and shop place, like sandwiches and sodas and drinks, which I thought that was kind of dumb. How are you going to be a tavern in Gaston's Tavern and have this awesome statue for wonderful photo ops, but you're not selling any kind of beer or alcoholic beverage? So that was kind of a letdown, to be completely honest, because we had walked all the way over there like, ooh, let's go get like some food and maybe, a cocktail from Gaston's, just to walk in there to see very, very limited seating and barely any variety of food choices. So that was kind of a letdown, just to be absolutely, completely honest. But after that, we were like, well, since we're at Gaston's, let's check out The Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid is a great little retelling of the Little Mermaid story. I enjoyed it. I think every single time we've gone to Walt Disney World, we've ridden this ride. It's just cute. I love the old school animatronics. I love the way they've added some, new age things in there. Of course, you can't say you've been to Walt Disney without riding Small World. So we decided to ride Small World towards the end of the day. It was not a top choice. It was one of those, all right, it's the end of the day. Let's hop on it, rest our feet a little bit type of ride. For anyone who wants to know, that whole ride is 20 minutes long. So another favorite of ours is the Peter Pan ride. So far, every time we've gone to Walt Disney World, we always make time for the Peter Pan ride. It just has nostalgia, to be honest. I mean, it's a cute little ride. It's, you ride through the story. I love the imagery. I love the little, the cute part being, seeing the paintings, perfect times for photo ops. I don't want to give any spoilers if you haven't been, but you get to walk through the bedrooms of, Wendy and her brothers. You get to see, their house, and it's mainly just getting you ready for the Peter Pan adventure. So you're basically walking through, like, I would say the beginning parts of the movie, of the story. The ride, if you have a little height issues, it's kind of high off the ground in a boat type of vehicle. It's dim lit, very, illuminescent, so you can see, the little animatronics and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just, lack of a better phrase, it's just a really cute ride. And for someone who grew up, with Peter Pan and everything, yeah. When we went, I forgot. I'm sorry. I love Disney, but I'm newly into the whole Walt Disney culture. So we got to see the beautiful fireworks show. The only thing I don't like is the cast members. They mean well, but they kind of tell you where you're able to sit if you don't get there in advance. So when we got out the Peter Pan ride, everyone was starting to get, their spots to watch the fireworks show. And we didn't choose where to go. They kind of just navigated us to go this way, they go this way. In a little bit of a pushy way. In a nice way, but in a little bit of a pushy way where if you wanted to go somewhere else, you weren't really given that outright option because things were already blocked off. So there's that. Was the fireworks show amazing? Yes. Was the fireworks show worth it? Yes. Did I cry? Yes. Yeah. Did I have the most amazing time in Magic Kingdom? Yes. Fun fact. A lot of people think, you have to purchase your memory makers and spend $200. A little choice that they have through the app is at the end of your day, you are able to purchase all the pictures that you've taken for like $69. So I kind of like that better because Magic Kingdom Day, we took lots of pictures with the lovely photographers and ride people throughout the park. And after I saw them, I wanted to purchase them then. On another day, whenever we took pictures, I didn't like the way the pictures came out. I didn't have to worry about it because I didn't have to purchase them. So that's a little fun fact. If you are taking pictures and they scan your band and you're like, I want to see them on the app later, and you see them on the app and you actually like them, you do have the option to purchase them later, and you have access to them for, I think, about a month and a half. The best thing about the end of the day is going back to the resort, purchasing some cocktails and some food, and taking it back to your room. Our third day was Animal Kingdom Day, which I think a Wednesday Animal Kingdom Day is the perfect day. It wasn't too busy. It wasn't that strenuous. We did not rope drop that We did not rope drop that park. We got there close to opening, so we just didn't get there extra early because we kind of wanted to leisurely get on the shuttle, head there, and not, hustle and bustle because we did that for the first 2 days. We did rope drop, Flight of Passage. That wait was about 2 to 3 hours? No. I want to say 2 hours. I want to say 2 hours. Don't quote me, but it was a long wait because the line was pretty long. Is that ride worth it? Yes, because how many attractions that are in the park and so forth, it was worth it. Do I think it's Genie Plus worthy? No, I don't. Here's the thing with the Flight of Passage waiting. I think there should be cast members posted kind of a little bit more throughout the ride queue, because when you have a lot of people in that kind of area, some people decide to be a little bit too silly, some people decide to be more frivolous and not courteous towards other people. I'm not trying to complain, but there's a couple of huge families that were not keeping up with the movement of the line. They were not keeping up with their children. They were not keeping up with certain things, and they were literally taking like 2 to 5 minutes to take pictures of each and every person with each and everything. And I'm all for excitement, but you have to be courteous to other people. in other people's times and other people's space. So that was my only hiccup with that. I think they're just with that line queue, because of how many curves and how many nooks and crannies there are. I just feel like there should be a little more cast members there to kind of supervise and keep everybody, in check, for lack of a better term. But the ride was absolutely amazing. I tell everybody and anybody, if you were able to go on that ride, go on that ride. During the time period that we went, the Tree of Life's hiking path was under construction, so that was kind of sad because we really wanted to get really good pictures of the Tree of Life. I do not like where the photographers are stationed at for the Tree of Life. I really wanted a good, up close and personal picture of it, and sadly I was not able to because of construction. Out of the shows, I feel like they need to advertise the shows a little bit better. If it wasn't for TikTok, I would not have known or realized how amazing the Festival of Lion King show is or was. I had no idea of it the first two times I went of the show. I heard about a Lion King show, but there's not really any advertisement like, hey, if you want to see a show, go to this area of the park at this time and this time. I also didn't realize that shows were on time constraints. So by the time we rode the Flight of Passage and we were getting to ride another ride, we realized that, hey, the shows end at 4:30. So I just feel like that could be advertised a little bit better for friends who aren't, on the app like that. One place that I will say I was not aware of had amazing food and service is a little restaurant called Nomad Lounge. It's very hard to find, which we realized that later, but it's kind of like an exact lounge. It's not a lot of seating. It's not big tables and things, but the food and the cocktails there are immaculate. And the waiter that we received was super, super nice, super knowledgeable. He helped us pick the most amazing food. And then naturally, because he realized it was my birthday, he brought me out a cute little sweet treat on them. They caught me for it. And it was like this lemon custard type of cake. It was so delicious. Everything that we ate there was super fresh and super decadent. It was really, really good. I had the lobster macaroni and cheese, which is my all-time favorite, and a grilled chicken Caesar salad. And I believe she got a steak Caesar salad. My best friend got the steak Caesar salad, and she said her steak was cooked to perfection. So, with that being said, Animal Kingdom's kind of slept on. They have some gems in there. They have some food in there that's delicious. I mean, down to their hot dog. Even their hot dog was delicious. The Lion King Festival is a show that you want to see. Yeah, we ended the day with a cocktail. Our last but not least adventure was Hollywood Studios. We rope dropped Rise of the Resistance. Now, every single time before that, we were given the option to hit the virtual queue. And when we did that, we got it every time. So this was our first time rope dropping it. And honestly, it wasn't too bad. And Rise of the Resistance is just the most amazing experience. I'd honestly not trying to Rise of the Resistance is one of the top rides. Even though we rode it 2 times before, we realized that they changed some things since then, which I was like, okay, so that's a good thing about Disney. They're always trying to keep you guessing, always trying to keep things new and innovative for you to experience. The queue for that, it was only 90 minutes, and it was quick 90 minutes. It truly did not feel like 90 minutes. One person said that they swore it was only barely an hour. I didn't time it because all the things that you see along the way as you're waiting in line kind of keep you busy, and of course there's little photo ops and little interactions. So I tell everyone, the big rides, go for it. Wait in the lines, or I still don't think it's worth the Genie Plus purchase. Like I said, if you just want to ride certain rides, I don't think you need to purchase it. Only reason I would say purchase it is if you're trying to ride every single ride and you're not there for a long time. You're not in Orlando for a long time. We were only there for 5 days, and every time like we went open and close, and every time we were not disappointed. So there's that. Um, what else is there to say? Out of all the rides in Hollywood Studios, I would say Rise of Resistance is the most interactive and the most visually appealing. Um, I love the fact that the cast members fit right into the fantasy. I love that they fit right into the theme and the I would say it just fit right into the theme of the ride because like I don't know, like my best friend and I, like whenever we first got captured, we really thought we really felt like we were in trouble. Another ride that I love, but I truly don't see it as a necessity, is the Millennium Falcon. That ride was another one that was a 90-minute wait. They used to have more animatronics throughout the queue. We realized quickly that they took out a lot of the animatronics and have it more as visual. In this picture, I just feel like I need to explain. So every time in the past that we've gone on Millennium Falcon, we've either been the gunner or the flyers. This time we were not. We were the engineers. My best friend wasn't happy about it because, as you can tell, she's a diehard Star Wars fan. So we actually got grouped up with this lovely family that were they were super cool. It was a mother and a father and their two sons who happened to be the gunners, and then we were the engineers, and then the mother and father were the flyer. I forgot the pilots, I believe. I wasn't complaining because I was able to get a lot more footage than I would normally get when I'm flying it. So she was more mad because she really wanted to be a pilot and all that. I wasn't, because I was like, ooh, now I can get more footage of the actual ride without feeling bad for crashing us or anything like that. So there's before I forget, considering the fact that we had a full crew this time, in the past with COVID restrictions, they didn't really allow that many people in the cockpits. So we would always get really low scores. So the fact that we had a full crew, I like that we actually got more points. So there's that. I got to meet Frozen. There was a lot more characters out at Hollywood Studios than honestly I felt were out in all the other parks. I don't know why that is. But we saw a lot more characters throughout the day versus when we were at Animal Kingdom and Epcot. We only saw them really in the morning. At Animal Kingdom, I rarely saw the characters out and about. But I got to see Frozen, and Frozen was like giving some, giving us space, but letting us take pictures with them. My lovely best friend got to meet Chewie and some other characters, so she was happy. We actually got to go into Alga's, was it Alga's Tavern? Canteen. No, Canteen. Now, to get into the canteen, we actually had to book that experience 60 days in advance. So we booked that experience in January at 7 a.m. our time. Man, okay, so here's the thing. The reason why people really want to go in it is because of its secrecy. Once we got in it, it's literally just a bar, you guys. The food's trash. The drinks are amazing. And the bartenders there are so hilarious and so cool. But you're standing at the bar. If it's just two of you, if you have a actual party, you get a table and you get chairs. But it's really just a bar. Like, I can't believe I was so anxious and excited to go into just basically a Star Wars themed bar. Was it cool? Yeah. Was it a vibe? Yeah. You only get 45 minutes in there. So we basically did 2 drinks apiece. And just, it was a kind of like a brain break, if you will. It was kind of like just a moment of us just to chill and relax and enjoy the atmosphere. But yeah, that's all it is. So all the people who go to Hollywood Studios, like, oh, what's in there? Oh, I'm gonna go in. Oh, I'm gonna go in. It's literally just a bar, you guys. Now, if you are a super mega Star Wars fan, Yeah, you want to experience it because you want to experience everything on Galaxy's Edge. But anyone who just walk past and they're like, "Oh, I want to go in. I want to know what it is," you're not missing out on much. You're not. Was I happy that we finally got to check that off our little list? Yes, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, I was honestly really sad that we couldn't sit down. That was more what I was sad about. Um, we got to see Kylo Ren and the Stormtroopers. They were out. Which in our previous trips they were not out walking around. They were, taking pictures from afar. So that was awesome to see. Tower of Terror. Okay. This ride is very, very controversial. I love it. It's scary. It's exhilarating. But when we went, Tower of Terror happened to shut down. Now, everyone knows they have like two elevators that they run simultaneously. So, here's the thing I would say in regards to Hollywood Studios if you are on the fence about Genie Plus. Do you need Genie Plus for Hollywood Studios? No. Would I say it's a good safety net for that park? Yes. Hear me out. When we were riding the Tower of Terror, or we were in line, for the Tower of Terror, one of the elevators went down. So they announced that one of the elevators went down. They would be still continuously running the ride, but just it'd be slower because of them using one elevator. We were in the standby line. We did not move for about an hour, but the Genie Plus line did. The Lightning Lane line did. So, if you want to go to Hollywood Studios and ride all the rides and keep your day moving, I would say get the Genie Plus, get the Lightning Lanes, because at the end of the day, they will make sure you ride that ride. People in standby, we sat there in the sun for about an hour until they got both elevators up and working again. So, there's that. Some people say, "Oh, if you buy the Lightning Lanes, oh, you're just out of luck." No, from what I witnessed myself while we were waiting in that line for an hour, watching TikToks and talking, and we kept seeing the people in the other line. That line was moving. It was moving slowly, but it was moving. Did we hear screaming? Yes. And that line was moving. So that's when we figured out that if we would have got the Genie Plus and got that Lightning Lane, we would have just got to ride the ride and not lost an hour of the day. So because we lost the hour of the day, we kind of didn't really get to experience Toy Story Land this trip. Luckily, the last trip, we experienced it too much. We were all over Toy Story Land. So we kind of just got to walk through it because we really wanted to see Fantasmic. So we kind of made the choice to not really ride any more rides, just to kind of hang out, enjoy the atmosphere, drink a blue milk or two, because my friend had a reservation to build her lightsaber. Now, I do not have any of that footage of her building her lightsaber, but that's another thing that she had to book 60 days in advance. They take a deposit of $279 that she ended up having to do. I enjoyed the experience just watching it, and let me tell you, I think it's worth the money. To do it multiple times? No. To do it one good time to say you have, I would say yes. Witnessing her build her lightsaber, witnessing that whole experience with her, it was awesome. And recording her, I could tell she enjoyed it to the max because her face lit up like a kid in a candy store. I remind you, we're both grown adults, but it was amazing. Another thing that I love is the fact that they really kind of, in all the Disney parks, they love to pull you into the adventure, the story. And in this moment, we were pulled into the story and the excitement. So there's that. Another thing that we never got to experience the past two times we went is the Fantasmic show. Let me tell you, that show ended our Disney trip amazingly. That show is beautiful, well done. We ended up going to the 7:30 show. Some people say, "Oh, go to the 10 o'clock show. It's less packed." While everyone's going there, you get to ride more rides. No, I wanted to get the first showing and The seats that we ended up getting were amazing. We really wanted to try to get the dining package so that way we'd have like premier seating. But I liked it. We were close enough. We didn't want to be too close to get wet, but we were close enough where we were in the middle, so we got good footage. We got to see everything. Nobody was in front of us where we couldn't see. We could hear everything. I love the music. I love the story. It really sucks you in. And then the crowd, like they even had like concessions, but we didn't know that, so we went and bought popcorn beforehand, which I got comped for because it was my birthday, so I didn't really have to pay for it. And we ended up getting drinks. So when we sat down and were waiting, it was just nice to get on our feet and just enjoy such an amazing show. Like, these performers and cast members are utterly, utterly phenomenal. Like, they really do make the Walt Disney experience that much amazing. And I can fully say that. And then once again, at the end of your day, when all your pictures are uploaded on your Walt Disney app, you have the option of paying the whole $70, $69 to purchase your pictures. And honestly, after seeing Fantasmic, getting back to the resort, and seeing these lovely gems, I couldn't help but purchase them. So, with that being said, is Genie Plus worth it? Possibly. Is it worth going during spring break? It doesn't matter what time you go or when you go. The cast members, the Walt Disney resorts, Walt Disney World parks are going to try to make your experience the most magical one. We went Christmas Day, we've gone during the summer, and now we've gone during spring break, which is the food and flower festival time period. And each time we did not have any bad days. We didn't have any bad experiences. We got to fully meet characters, take pictures, laugh, smile, eat, drink, shop, build lightsabers, build, I don't remember, we really had a great time. And for me, celebrating my birthday, out of all the birthdays that I've had, it was nice because Walt Disney put on this birthday for me. All I had to do was book and reserve everything and just show up. So if you're an adult and your birthday's coming up and you're like, I want to have just a fun birthday where I don't have to make the magic happen, go to Walt Disney World because you will not be disappointed. Like, the only part that made me sad is when it was over, and I mean completely over, and we had to start packing up everything, because even then we had to deal with finding a lift because they discontinued the magical, was it the shuttle bus thing. So that was just a fun fact. But the Lyft drivers that we got going to the resort and leaving the resorts were just super, super nice, top rated, amazing people. The cast members at the resort were absolutely amazing people. Even when we needed to find where our Lyft would be, like, the manager of the resort walked us to where we needed to be. And the food at the resort was food court food. It was deliciously made food. The chefs there are amazing. Even at Disney Springs, where at the end of the day, where if we ended our days too early, we would always go back there to shop, enjoy the shows, and eat there. The whole Disney, I want to say, city. At this point, it's becoming a city because you have Disney Springs, Disney Boardwalk, and all the Disney resorts. That whole environment is just, it's worth it. It's worth it. Even down to the pool. They have a full bar at the pool at the resort. And they have life jackets for your kids. They have games and activities for your kids. Every night they're showing a Disney movie. So if you want to sit out there and let your kids play or let them watch a movie before the end of the day, before the end of the night, you can do that. For us on our last night, we just wanted to reflect on such an amazing trip. So we got a cocktail and sat by the pool. The only thing I don't like is flying out of Orlando because it's so packed, so busy. But even at the MCO airport, absolutely amazing, absolutely phenomenal flight attendants, and so forth. So thank you for watching my review of my Walt Disney World trip during spring break of March of 2023.